Shalom, Israel. This is Hebrew Son. And I'm doing this video in response to a comment that I had gotten from a Deborah Betty 58 on the video that I put out, Hebrew Israelite Issues Part 1. Now I'm going to just read what Deborah wrote, and then I'm going to get right into what I'm going to talk about. Okay. Deborah writes, the responsibility of raising the children upright lies upon the shoulders of both parents. And then she references Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 10. For the Shema was addressed to the whole nation of Israel in the desert, male and female, as it was first of all addressed to, she says, to the Adam in Genesis chapter 1, 26 through 31, and Genesis 1, 1 and 4, 1 through 4. For that's the base, the origin of the covenant between the Creator and the human species race, the Adam. And at the same time, it was the first covenant that was broken by mankind. Now, the response that I really, to be honest with you, I really don't know which position Deborah is coming from. I really can't tell that from just this small piece here. and I don't, basically I'm going to say this, okay? I don't disagree with you, sister. I believe that responsibility lies on the Hebrew male and the Hebrew female. But ultimately, the responsibility lies on the Hebrew male. Meaning, yes, in Deuteronomy 6, when they were in the desert, they were addressed, and the Most High said, this is how I want you to raise your children. But the point that I want to make is that I address the Hebrew male first, because without the head, you have no body. Okay? Meaning, the man was created first. The man is the head of every household. The man is the head of the community. The man is the head, period. Okay? Now, you got some women who feel that, well, you have some women who would challenge that. And I don't really think, Deborah, I don't think that you're doing that. But the thing that I want men to understand, as well as women, is that there is a divine order. And unless that divine order is recognized and that divine order is followed, there will be no order, period. So you can have you can have an understanding that, okay, yeah, women have a responsibility and a role, but the majority of the responsibility belongs to the man, okay, the male, okay, to Adam. When all is said and done, the man is going to have to give an account for not only his own actions, but for the actions of his household. Meaning, if my children are out of line or crazy, I really should have. There's a scripture that I'm thinking about. I think it was I forget the name of the prophet offhand, and I won't go into that because I really just kind of did this video spur of the moment. I just woke up, so I apologize, and I probably will do a second one just to get the scriptures in my studying in line. But the responsibility majority lies on the man, because he is the head. He is the one that hears from Yah. He is the one that gets the commandment from Yah. Adam got the commandment from Yah, and Adam translated that commandment, he translated that commandment to Eve. Now, I'm going to read a scripture. This is Genesis 3, and I'm going to read Genesis 3, 8 through, I'm going to read Genesis 3, 8 through 11. And they heard the voice. I don't say Lord. This is a King James version, but I don't say Lord God because it's not his name. So I'm going to use Yah. And they heard the voice of Yah walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yah amongst the trees of the garden. And Yah called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice. Excuse me. I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, and because I was naked, I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? Okay. Now, the reason why I use that scripture is because when they both sinned against the Most High, when Eve was tempted by the serpent and she gave the fruit that she ate to her husband, he did eat. The Most High, when he came down, he did not come to talk to Adam and Eve. He came initially to talk to Adam. He had to address Adam. That's why he called Adam's name. He didn't call the parents. He didn't say you guys. He didn't say mankind. He said Adam. The reason why he said Adam was because it was Adam's responsibility to, one, keep the garden, meaning to guard it, protect it, till it, okay? Basically, take care of the responsibilities as concerning the garden. Now, my point that I want to make is that even though the woman has a role, the majority of the responsibility falls on the Hebrew male, and that's one of the reasons why when I address when I address Israel in videos or wherever, however I'm communicating, I address the male first, because if the man does not understand his position, it does not matter what the position of the woman is, because you cannot have structure without the male being first. Meaning you cannot have order. You said in your comment, Deborah, you said the responsibility of raising children upright lies upon the shoulders of both parents, which is true, but you have to understand the order in which it is. You have to understand the order in which it was ordained to work in. It doesn't matter the woman's responsibility if the man does not understand he's a man and he's not taking full responsibility for his taking responsibility for being the head of the household, meaning he's the one that institutes the law of Yah in his household. He's the one that translates the word of Yah to the woman, ultimately to the whole household. So, Deborah, like I said, I don't believe that. I believe that you have knowledge of this, but I really completely did not understand your comment, but I just wanted to address that. So any video you see me do or anything you hear me say is going to address the Hebrew male first. And once the Hebrew male is addressed, then he addresses his household, he addresses his wife, the institution of divine order has to be followed. Meaning if the man is not in line, it does not matter. Well, I won't say it doesn't matter, but the divine order has to be instituted in order to see the results in Israel that we want to see. If the man is not in order, if the man is not in line, then there is no nation. You have to understand that, Deborah, and you have to understand that Israel, period. And men, you have to stand up. You have to take responsibility. You have to put your households in order. You have to. There is not a question about that. You cannot, what's the word? You cannot say that you are a Yah-fearing man and you don't have divine order in your household. If it's not instituted in your household, if your wife is supposedly, if your wife is the spiritual head, if your wife is the one who institutes order and structure, she's the one that institutes discipline from the perspective of a head, then your household is out of line, brother. I don't care how you try to look at it. I don't care which way you try to define it. Your household is out of order. Period. Okay? And every woman who thinks that her responsibility is to govern a household, I mean, not govern a household, but to lead a household. It is her responsibility to govern a household, but to lead a household, then your understanding of divine order is not intact. Okay? Brothers, we have to understand that first our household, then our communities, our nation as a whole. If we don't stand up and take responsibility, it doesn't matter how many Deborahs we got, it doesn't matter how many women we have that are willing to step up. It does not matter, because it does not work like that. And as long as Israel does not understand divine order and does not understand what the plan of the Most High is and the way He set up order, then we have no order. So anything outside of that is complete foolishness. It's confusion, and we all know that Yah is not the author of confusion. So that's the one point that I wanted to make, Israel, and to you, Deborah. Like I said, I don't believe that you don't know this, but like I said, I really couldn't completely understand your comment and which perspective you were coming from. But I just wanted to address that because I don't want to be misunderstood, and I don't want there to be a misunderstanding with Israel in the sense of understanding what divine order is. Now that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that issue there. But what I will say is